Main brain region number 3 is going to be the brainstem. So if you remember, we are talking about the four main regions of the brain. What are these? Here they are: the cerebrum, the cerebellum, the diencephalon, and now we're going to be talking about the brainstem, which is the midbrain, the pons, and the medulla oblongata. So let's zoom in to a view of those. As a reminder, again, here is another image of the diencephalon in the same image along with the brainstem. So if we're talking about the diencephalon, that's everything that's kind of in purple color. And then the midbrain is the most superior part of the brainstem. So we've got midbrain, pons, and medulla. Even without much labeled here, you can maybe see some things you recognize. These yellow pieces are all cranial nerves. So that's going to be one function of the pons and medulla. They have the nuclei of cranial nerves, that they contain those. So I'm going to show you a detailed picture. You do not need to know a lot of this anatomy. Again, the purple is the thalamus, and underneath there, we've got various structures of, first, the midbrain. The midbrain is involved in, so a lot of this is basic stuff. The midbrain, the brainstem is prevalent in even lower level vertebrates, carrying out very basic functions. So the midbrain it relates to eye movements. So the superior and inferior colliculus primarily are going to be controlling eye movements. The trochlear nerve is actually related to that. It goes, is a motor, carries motor fibers away from there. Also body movements and body movements as well. So that view, I want to go here and show you a cross section of the midbrain. So this is the midbrain here. There's a couple different nuclei that are important for movement in the midbrain. One is the red nucleus, and the other one is the substantia nigra. I'm actually not going to talk about that a whole lot, but if you're interested, you can read more about it. It's involved in Parkinson's disease. This black matter, substantia nigra, is degraded and disappeared in individuals with Parkinson's. These cells that are here are filled with dopamine and project up to the striatum to regulate movement. The red nucleus we will see with some of the control movement in the next 2 videos from now, I think. The other piece here are these cerebral peduncles, which is a really fun name. This is connections from the cerebrum to the brainstem. So you've got fiber tracts that connect the cerebrum to the brainstem. That's the cerebral peduncles. Some of these you'll see in lab. So the inferior and superior colliculus are really obvious in the sheep brain that you'll see. Okay, moving down, we've got the pons. That is like a big pond-shaped thing from the frontal view. The pons is involved in breathing control, as well as it's a relay station as well. And any other, so this would be facial movement from the trigeminal nerve, etc. relay with that. Lastly, we've got the medulla down here, the medulla oblongata. This is going to be involved in other involuntary functions, such as blood pressure, breathing, swallowing. Medulla. Your vagus nerve nuclei are in here that control, which is related to a lot of your internal digestive system, heart rate, that kind of thing. These tracks right here that go along right like this, these are your pyramids, and these are where you have motor information come down from the cortex. So the pyramids we'll see again, they desiccate here, which means cross to the other side. This will make a lot more sense when we look at it with motor information. You may already know your left side of your brain controls the right side of your body and vice versa. This is where the decussation of the pyramids is where this information crosses. So many cranial nerves, so any cranial nerve function is going to be relevant to the brainstem. We'll see some of those in lab. And that's the last thing I have on this other learning check here. So what I want you to do is, here's actually a sheep brain with all the cranial nerves. I'm not going to have you learn all of these, especially on a sheep brain where it's really hard. I want you to answer these 2 learning check questions. Are cranial nerves a part of the PNS or CNS? And where are the cell bodies of these cranial nerves?